country, Bharat, India. I was blessed with parents who loved me, and loved me. And perhaps that is the thread I am living on till today and trying to experience the love which they give me when I give it to others. My mother was Kamal. My father's name was Yashwant. My father was a doctor. My mother was a housewife. And she loved to work and help. Whomsoever wanted any help in the locality, they would come to her. Sometimes the child is not well. Sometimes the aged parents need some help. Sometimes a young girl wants to know something about the knitting, cooking. And I think I inherited that trait from my mother. And from my father, whatever comes in life, just go ahead, face it and go ahead. And never be scared, never be afraid of. Whatever comes in your life, accept and move on, go ahead. So these two things are the main pillars of my life. I got good education in spite of the fact that we were not very financially well off, but we had love in our family. We were 4 brothers and sisters and my parents, and we were all very happy, though we had just 1 or 2 sets of clothes. It was a rental house. We had 1 room and then a little kitchen and a veranda and a small the drawing room. So that's all we had. We had no electricity in my childhood, I remember, and we used to have a lamp, and sitting around the lamp we will study and we will eat, and my mother would be always, before it gets dark, finish your food, and whatever you want to do it during the daytime, so that night time you don't have to burn the oil. So I remember that with 1 lamp we will study, we will eat, as far as possible we'll try to finish everything, all our work, so that when it is dark, go to bed. My religion is Hinduism. And I grew up in the family worshipping, doing all the good deeds and certain rituals, traditions, they are followed. We have our festivals, yes, they are all followed. We believe in that. Till my mother died, she died at the age of 87. Before leaving the house, I will touch her feet and take her blessings. And I did it till her last. And I say it with all my belief that whatever I have gone through in my life, the strength has come from touching her feet. Mogra flower, Arabian jasmine you say. It's a small white flower, very fragrant, very fragrant. So that is my childhood, because we had just had 1 or 2 those mogra plants, and my mother would pick up those things and bring it for the altar of the god. 3 things I learned from her: economy, beauty and utility. You say in life, whatever you want to do, see that you do it economically. I mean, don't waste money, don't waste time, don't waste your efforts. Your strength is also limited. So that is economy. Economy in every respect. And economy is that whatever resources are, with minimum resources, maximum output. That was the principle. Then it should look beautiful. Whatever you're doing, even if you're sweeping the house, see that it's really clean. So it should be neat, clean, proportionate. Whatever you do should be aesthetic, beautiful. Beauty in nature, of course. My mother would get up early in the morning. I remember so many times she would say, "Come, get up. See how beautiful it is, the sunrise." And it used to be cold, because I come from Nagpur, a city which is very cold during winters and it's very hot during summers. So you don't feel like getting up, And her thing was, come on, get up early. She wanted to instill that you must get up early, so that morning hours are good for your studies, doing anything. The whole atmosphere is so nice. You can concentrate, you can study better, enjoy the nature. What is God? Say, come, see the sunlight, see the rising sun, what beautiful color. She is sweeping her house like that. But she'll bring me, hold my hand and come, let's go and see that. And another thing she'll say, whatever you do should be useful. It should not be just for the sake of doing it. That whatever you do, even if you're cleaning your toilet, see that you do it the best. Whatever little thing in your life you may do, but do the best, as if you are the best person to do that thing. And then helping each other. I was the one who was always trusted by my parents. When I was in school and all that, people would say, send Sunanda to a house, we have a wedding, and our weddings, they go for, weeks. 7 days, 8 days, 10 days in preparation. Everything is done at home. Nothing is, outsourced. So for that, just send your Sunanda for 3 days, She'll come and stay with us and she will help in all these things. We have to cook so many things. We have to make preparations, fold all the things, which gift is to be given to whom, how we'll make the list of the guests, how many men, how many women, like that, who will stay where will they sleep, do we have enough water? So many times I would go, no, you have to just take care of these 4 children. They are coming and they won't let the mothers do their work. So take care of them. Then I'll sit with them, dance with them, tell them stories, take them out, plug the flowers, collect the stones, things like that. Now I think that was a kind of leadership. They trusted me. Everyone said, Sunanda, you have to come and help me. So why? How does it come? Why out of 12 people, 13 people, you choose one person? So like the childhood is the base of developing all the good values, the unique characteristics, leaderships. So I think these things come like that, travel from your childhood. The difficult times I have had in my life, I think only because I had that trust, the love and the confidence which was built in me by my parents, and that surrounding those situations, those experiences helped me to go through and come to this stage today. I did my school, then I did my graduation. I was a science graduate. My elder sister, she did her MBBS, that is doctor, Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. She was a professional doctor, Then she was a gynecologist. And she was sort of an inspiration for me. So when she was studying, I used to see how she is doing. She will wear a 10 rupees sari, which is very cheap sari. But she had just 2 saris, I remember, just 2 saris. And she studied whole medicine. After doing my BSc, my graduation, I wanted to do my post-graduation. You see, money was not so ample in those days. That is a fact, So my mother said, don't worry, the fees was just 16 rupees. 16 rupees is what? Nothing, not even your 50 pence. So my mother said no. She ran the, child care. 2-3 small kids used to come. She would look after them for 5-6 hours and they would give her 20 rupees each. So she said, no, I'll do this, but I want my younger daughter also to pursue her education. And so I did my post-graduation. I did my MSc in zoology. And then after that, I wanted to do my PhD because I had by that time a desire that I'll be a scientist. I'll pursue research, my laboratory, whole day and night I'm absorbing myself, doing that. Those kind of dreams were there, as a young girl in the university. I applied so many places because I wanted to be a lecturer. Nowhere I was selected, in spite of the fact I had best of the academic record, I had best of the co-curricular activities, gender, competition and favoritism also. And then I was in administration. Now, administration and academic world, these are 2 different worlds. In academic world, you pursue with one thought absorbed. In administration, you have to manage people, isn't it? I was the first lady officer in our cadre. Officer means big post, big chair. The responsibility also comes. But men-dominated world, the men-dominated community do not easily accept a female. Every minute you are required to prove your ability. Till the day I retired, I had the feeling, Sunanda, you have to still prove after 30 years of this sincere, dedicated service that you are a capable woman. I retired as a director of education. There are people out to pull you down, but then you have to keep yourself telling, no, you're not going to be run down by these people. You know what you are. So you have to keep trying, learn to trust yourself. So this self-motivation, self-trust, all these things, the seeds were sown in my childhood. And I'm so grateful that I had my parents like that, what they were. I was the first women officer who was awarded Commonwealth Education Fellowship in 1978 from India. And I went to London. For 2 years, I did my diploma in education from University of London Institute of Education. I got married. I got married to a person who was a genius. I knew him from my childhood, so we knew the family, and he was genius, intellect personified. So I was attracted by his brilliance. My daughter was born in 1980, and in 81, my daughter was 1 year. I lost my father in an accident in the landslide. They had a landslide in Himalayas. and he was washed away in front of others, washed away. And my mother was stranded for 3 days. The third day his body was found and we cremated there near Kashmir. 81 I lost my father, 87 I lost my husband. Hardly 7 years of my marriage, 8 years of my marriage. In 87 we met with a ghastly accident and my husband died on the spot in my hands. And the life changed. And the life changed to what? My little girl, she's in Melbourne now, she's now 44. She was 7 years, 1987. She suffered that accident trauma for a long time because she had seen her father in a pool of blood. My daughter. She lost her childhood, dear. She lost her childhood. The day my husband expired, she lost her childhood. And that really, my whole life, what I was earlier, it was just flat now. My only purpose in life was to see that this girl comes to a normal. That was a most difficult time in life. In my career, I faced so many challenges, but even there's nothing. But to see your own child like this, I think it tears you apart. Then I took her, I made her sit. I said, look, don't think that I'm ever going to get married to anyone in this life unless you approve that man. So just remove this thought that if mama is going out, she's going to earn money because we need money. We want that you should be educated, you should get all the comfort. You should just to see that your life comes up, beautifully. I will not marry, take a word from me. I will never marry. And then with lot of consolation, then she came back to me. And I never married. I never even looked at any man. I was so much with my little girl, my mother and my office challenges 24 hours on, and each day you have to prove that you are an officer is sitting in that post only because you are capable, not because you are a widow and you are a lady or no. I am capable. So every time you have to fight, you have to prove yourself, and not that you are not scared. You are scared. I know I used to be so fearful inside. So I am so scared. But then again, no, Nanda, you have got to do it. You have a daughter. You have a mother. You have to come on, get up. The world is also nice. You will find some good people. Some help will come to you. So you fall flat, and again you rise. So hundreds and thousands of times I must have fallen flat. And then I would come to my room and I would cry, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't. But then I said, no, how can you not do it? You have no husband, so what? You have great support of your mother, you have your daughter. Not all people are bad. You will get good people also. And I did get good people who kept helping me, guiding me. I fell so many times. But I always believe if you fail 100 times, try 101 times. So that I kept telling myself, no, you have to keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. And I did. Till today I am doing. My daughter is still very quiet. She is very soft, very sweet. She's a beautiful soul. And sometimes she says, Mama, I didn't let you marry. I said, no, not like that. Don't think, don't burden yourself. It's absolutely fine. So I had no time and I had no thought. I said, whenever I open my eyes, I always see your daddy in front of me. I have not missed anything in my life. I have got you, in you I have got everything. But one thing I have learned at the end of this thing is that we have plateaus and we have peaks. We cannot have peaks in our life all the time because otherwise they are not peaks. But what we must make an effort to learn is to live in the plateaus. You have to train your mind. See, the most important person in your life is your mind. And the worst enemy in your life is your mind. See, it is what you think. If you think you are the best, you are. If you think you are defeated, you are defeated. So what difference has it made? It's the mind, isn't it? So we must learn to live in plateaus by constantly reminding ourselves this is the passing phase. How you live on plateaus is by accepting the reality. So once you accept, then your mind gets prepared to find ways how to do it. So you have to always keep telling, you have to make yourself understand, you have to talk to yourself. I love to watch the ocean the waves of the ocean, and it has calming effect on me. But I love sky very much. Morning I want to open my eyes and first I want to see the sky. Oh, it fascinates me. Rising sun, early morning sun, let all the darkness in my heart go away. So the moment that the sun is up, you feel so cheerful, so happy. So that cheerfulness, that warmth should come to me. That removes all the darkness in a fraction of a second. I just want to work for people, those who are needy, especially for women and children. That is in my heart always, because I know a sorrow of a woman, I know a misery of a woman, I know what is unexpressed, the love, the fear. So if I can help someone, even one person, let me be an instrument to help someone, comfort someone. That thing is in me, because you owe so much to the society. See, I am today what I am because of the society, because of the community. It's not only your parents have given, your teachers, all the people, those who have worked here and there, friends, everyone. So the society has made you what you are today. So it's your duty to give them back. So why not you give it willingly and happily and find joy in that. So joy in giving. Birds, the eagle, that always motivates me, that you have to fly higher. Still, whatever you are today, you have to still achieve higher. So I say the best is yet to come from me.